Well, hello there, I'm Jeremy, and welcome back to Freeform Star Wars. So it is time for me to talk once more about the previous episode of The Bad Batch. So this is going to be the 14th episode from last week, and that is episode War Mantle. So here we go. Brief recap. So the squad starts out in the middle of a mission from Sid, and they receive a transmission from everyone's favorite clone, Rex. Well, it seems that Gregor, who might be some people's favorite clone in fairness, well anyway, who Rex considers a friend, sent a distress call from the planet Darrow, a new planet to the Star Wars canon. And despite Hunter, who knows, maybe that's your favorite clone. Anyway, despite his reluctance, they head off on the mission with pretty much no intel and end up finding out that Darrow contained a secret Imperial base where Project War Mantle was training thousands of new TK troopers. In other words, ordinary enlisted people who would be better known as stormtroopers. Well, Gregor tried to desert but had no luck until the Bad Batch came and rescued him. In the process of their escape, they also ran into a member of Delta Squad, Scorch. Well, who knows, maybe that's your favorite clone. Anywho, the rescue hit quite a lot of resistance, so much so that they even lost Hunter, who was left captured and about to be talked to / interrogated by Crosshair. Oh, and also, meanwhile, in case that wasn't enough, over on Kamino, things were heating up as the Empire, via Vice Admiral Rampart, was removing all the clones from the facility. Prime Minister Lama Su saw the writing on the wall and enlisted Nala Se in planning to evacuate their top people so they could flee and continue their work elsewhere. But Rampart found out about this, and in the end, we see him say that he's got no more use of Lama Su, and then Lama Su disappears behind closing doors with some troopers. Yo. Wow. What an episode. So the biggest surprise was right off the bat, it was how fast things are moving for the Empire. I thought things would progress a little more slowly with Project War Mantle. That we wouldn't get to this kind of point till, say, somewhere a third of the way into next season. That was more my guess. I thought the big finale was going to be much more just simply focused on the Crosshair Bad Batch dynamic. So I missed that one. So what are the highlights from this one? Well, this is a good episode. I have tons of highlights here. Number 9 for me is Scorch, or in other words, Delta Squad, but really we only saw one member. So whether that means something from you for Clone Wars or Republic Commando, any which way, this is really cool as an introduction, and I'm excited about where we might be going with this, because this isn't the end of seeing Scorch or other members of Delta Squad. Definitely curious. Number 8 would be the fight sequence on Darrow, which, man, it was a well-executed fight sequence. Loved the part inside the base, and heck, once we actually had the ships going, this was one of the more well-thought-out fight sequences I think we've had in the entire season. And frankly, out as far as animated Star Wars is concerned as a whole, it's one of the best fight sequences, I think. So this, really good. Number 7 is going to be Wrecker and Omega waiting on the ship as they're waiting as backup. Omega super nervous, playing with her plush toy there, kind of clutching it. Just how she goes ahead and shows that nervousness. While Wrecker, couldn't have less of a care in the world. He's completely relaxed. Which is a great juxtaposition of the two against each other. Nicely done. Next up, Planet Darrow, which I've commented before about the beautiful scenery, backdrops, etc. that they're doing in this show. Planet Darrow is certainly on that list. Beautiful forested world. I keep feeling like we got cool new places we're going to, and it feels different. And that base, by the way, also while we're talking about Planet Darrow, was impressive. It gave me vibes, definitely OT vibes, but also some of the video games, maybe a little Shadows of the Empire or something, just going into the base, being in there as you're going through. Filoni's a fan of the game, so hardly a surprise. Number 5 is Hunter being captured. I love this as a move. I'm hoping we'll make more of it than Omega getting captured, because that was pretty quick, but it was useful. But that we actually went there and at least had them fail a little bit, that's always a nice piece. And what we could get out of this could be really interesting. Number 4, this is Wrecker. Full Wrecker. I think this is probably one of the most memeable pieces of Bad Batch at this point. Echo's got a point. Oh yeah, and Tech's got a point. Oh, the kid's got a point. I expect to see tons of memes with this going on. I might even make some myself, we'll see. Oh, it's just too much fun. Could not include this in here. Number 3 is Gregor. or CC5576. Oh, great to see Gregor. One of the things I was expecting and waiting forward to see in the show. Didn't know we'd see him this season, though. Could have been a later season. But yeah, he came in. He's got the same great winning personality he always does. A little kooky, a little off. Love Gregor. He fits right in. Looking forward to seeing a lot more of him. Number 2, the events on Camino and leading all the way up to Prime Minister Lamassu being detained. This came as a surprise to me. I didn't expect to see this so quick. And just how we're playing this out, the overall lore and what this is doing for the galaxy, we are really expanding on all of this right now. And this is great. I love this. And a surprise about Lamassu just being detained and not killed. I kind of expected the death, really, and apparently not. Now you may say, oh, maybe Lamassu was killed off screen. I disagree. Because, especially back in the 3rd episode, with what we were willing to show with Crosshair and the others murdering civilians, we would have heard a blaster shot that would have killed Lamassu if that was the idea of where we were going. They certainly wouldn't have had a problem giving us that blaster shot, but the fact that they closed the doors and left it there for a moment and no blaster shot came through, that means Lamassu's alive. And that means we sure as heck are not done with the Kaminoans. We got more going on because there's a reason we left Lamassu alive. And heck, we've also got more probably in these next 2 episodes about the fact we were removing all the clones off Camino and what's going to happen there. Ooh, super intrigued, super intrigued. And number 1 moment for this one, that's Project War Mantle. The name of the episode, the big thing I was excited for in the first place, as soon as I knew this episode was going to be called, not Project War Mantle, but just War Mantle. Because that's the whole thing where we're bringing in the enlisted men to become stormtroopers, replacing the clones. That's what Project War Mantle is. And I didn't think we'd start seeing it as heavily this quick. But it was pretty cool getting to see what was happening on Darrow, the training, as we used, 50 of the clones, I think it was, training thousands of new enlisted stormtroopers. Star Troopers, that'd be cool. But it's a new rank that we're not using here. But yeah, intriguing, and we are sure as hell anything but done here. This is just the start for War Mantle. Okay, so this was a well-balanced, well-paced episode. Their sense of wonder that the Bad Batch had in the new base and the planet and how the show presented it, it came right through for me as I felt that sense of wonder too. I thought it was beautifully done. So definitely emotionally got me that kind of way. I've got to say, one weird thing that I haven't quite figured out, and I imagine we'll get a little more information as we go forward, is Gregor and Rex's connection. So Gregor sent a distress signal to Rex, who nobody knows is alive currently. So does that mean that Gregor knew Rex was alive? Or was it just an old beacon he had from before Order 66 from Rex, and he had nothing better to try? He didn't know if Rex was alive or not, maybe, and just sent out the beacon. I'm curious which it is. Now, if it's the former and Gregor actually knew Rex was alive, now that's very interesting, because that means they had to have met sometime recently, and probably Rex would have had to initiate contact just because, otherwise how does Gregor contact him when no one knows Rex is alive? But Rex would also have had to be really careful because he wouldn't know if Gregor's compromised or not due to the chip in the head. Oh, there's some interesting questions here. I imagine we'll probably find out early the next episode or 2. We'll have a lot more answers on that right there. But I'm very curious which way it goes. So it's just one of those I'm just running through in my mind and thinking over, okay, is it this way or this or this? I can't wait to find out for sure. Have Rex and Gregor meet up with each other. Oh, it's going to be good times. So, couple quick theories. I expect to see more of Delta Squad. It's an easy theory right here. I think I'll be pretty right on that one. And I expect to see them here this season, I should say. So I think they'll be part of the big grand finale with the big action sequences. I think Delta Squad's kind of like our boss level people to go ahead and fight the Bad Batch. Also, different theory on similar though. Unlike Omega, I think we're going to let Hunter stay captured for more than one episode. So don't think he'll be rescued next episode, but instead in the finale itself. Next up, I think we will be seeing Rex next episode, and the Martez sisters I think will pop up again in one of the next 2 episodes, either the penultimate or the finale itself. So I think we're going to be bringing our people together for that big rescue mission coming up. And finally, I am pretty sure Prime Minister Lamassu still has an important role to play within the Bad Batch series, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen this season or in season 2. Lamassu might not really have anything to do in the remainder of season 1. That's entirely possible. We might be far more Darrow focused after this. We'll see. And hey, that's my theories for the upcoming. And hey, those are my top highlights for the 14th episode of The Bad Batch, which I think is one of, if not the best, episodes of the season so far. Now, I can't wait to see where we're going over the next 2 episodes. And well, with all that, what about you? What were your favorite moments from the 14th episode? What excited you the most? Let me know down below in the comments. And let me also give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help support the channel. You guys are all great. I love y'all. And to everyone watching, thank you so much. It really helps out if you give the video a like, a share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you back here next time for another new episode of Freeform Star Wars. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.